MeTV 24 Meridian proudly presents your favorite way to start the day. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
As we were getting ready to start today's show, Candace was telling me her tail was all over the road. She hasn't explained what she meant by that.
No, this morning the roads are so slick. I was not even going real fast, and when I come around a curve, I could feel my car kind of fishtail. So be extra careful.
Yeah, and the heavier your car, the taller, it'll do that for you.
And like I said, I wasn't even going very fast. I just was coming around a curve and just pulling the steering wheel a little to the right, coming around the curve. It felt like it was fishtailing. So
that makes
I knew not to snatch my steering wheel. But
makes your heart come up your chest, doesn't it?
Yeah, it did, especially with my son in there. So anyway.
We do have an accident this morning. Emergency officials are en route as we pull this up. I'll show you this. Thanks to Katie for sending this. There's the rig, and then back here, if you'll notice, there's a lot of people standing on the wood line. There's a car that's flipped there.
Goodness.
And we do have emergency officials en route. They're probably on the scene since we got that. So we hope everyone is okay. But that just happened just north of Minnebucket Road, where Lockhart is. After you go past the ponds is where that is.
Okay. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. And we got so many wrecks. I showed a few of these earlier. Yesterday. It was one little fender bender after another. This was I-20 where the split is coming into town. A truck jackknifed. We had another one that done the same thing, went off in the medium before the airport.
These roads are super slick. They are.
And then we get over here to Livingston, Alabama, and this was yesterday afternoon also. And that went on for several hours, that cleanup. You can't control it, as Candace pointed out. It happened to her.
It's scary. A lot of people, your first, thought is, oh, snatch it back over here or snatch it back over. And if you do that, it just makes it worse. So.
And the weather that we had yesterday afternoon, clouds here as we look above Johnson Kia, there on the 39 bypass. Boy, that was a lot. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Also here, this is Whynot, looking across the ponds there. And I got another picture sent in. This was from out in Stonewall. Beautiful pictures. Always send in your pictures to us. We'd love to share them. You see things we can't from where we are.
Right.
Had a tornado warning yesterday afternoon that went into northern Neshoba and into Winston County there for a little while. Okay. Went away. And then we had a thunderstorm warning for Lauderdale County also. Heavy rain.
I was glad it didn't get really, really, nothing happened that was bad that I know of.
Just the warnings. We did have a few trees as we go and look at this in Neshoba County and a few power lines down in those areas, but no funnel clouds that tore up anything. And the good news is that after lunch today, all of this is going away and sunshine will slowly creep back into the forecast. Only 81, though. Don't expect it to be a hot, hot day.
I think people will welcome that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about this weekend? We're looking at
perfect weather. Let's pull it up.
Pretty weather.
I've got that somewhere where we can show you that extended forecast. Here we go. This is what to expect this weekend. Saturday, 85, 87 on Sunday. Memorial Day is 88. And again, 0% chance of rain anywhere as you go to the mini festivities, whether it's a memorial service or you're cooking out.
Yeah. And as you do cook out, like yesterday, I saw a comment, a lot of people would just do their barbecues and not even think about what actually they're celebrating or
You're right.
remembering, I should say. Is our fallen veterans and people who've lost their lives defending this country. We really do want to pray for those families because people who have lost people in their families, they still mourn the loss of those people. So just think about those veterans that have given their life for our country and for you to have the freedoms, you and I both to have the freedoms that we have.
It's the latest craze. People just tend to forget history, and that's what it's about. Can't be here without those folks before us doing that.
That's
and the
right.
ones that get up every day and face that, they don't know what's going to happen.
They do it every day. As we speak, they're over there right now defending our country. So we're thankful for them, both
yes, we are.
near and far. So.
They're painting, and I tried to pronounce it this morning by myself before you got here, so you're going to have to help me. The mural, is that how you say it?
I think it's mural.
Boy, that's a tough word.
Yeah.
Y'all practice with me. 1, 2, 3, mural. That ain't right. Muriel? Say it again.
I think it's just mural. Like mural.
How about we say they're
I
putting
might be saying it wrong. I
a
don't know.
mule
I'm
on the
not like
wall?
Yeah.
But they're going to be putting Jimmy Rogers' face downtown. Be looking for that on the side of the old Vice building downtown.
Okay.
It'll be the biggest one in town so far.
That'd be nice.
They usually seem to use that same picture of Jimmy. I was hoping we'd get a new picture
With
of Jimmy.
the guitar?
Yeah. One that I've seen since 71.
Well, people make fun of the way I say that.
Picture?
Some people say guitar. I say guitar.
Guitar. Bring your guitar over here, boy.
Yeah.
But that's good that we're doing that. That word does look
Right.
good on buildings,
It
since I
does.
cannot say it.
It does. I love to see murals of like famous people that are from your area and stuff. I think it's a neat thing.
You went ahead and said it again to make me feel guilty, didn't you?
What? Murals?
That word. From now on, it's dubbed that word from me.
Well, that's okay.
I can't get it out. Gail said, yes, it's 2 syllables in it. Big picture on a wall. Roy says another way of putting it. I'm probably right. Terry Shelton, good morning there. Let's see here. We did have an accident overnight again at the Split. Everybody's okay. Then we had another accident right up from there at exit 152 last night. Again, everybody okay, some fender benders. But these wet streets just cause havoc and more havoc.
Yeah, they do.
Now, you
Be
can
extra careful.
you can sort of paint. I've seen some of the stuff that you've put on wood. You've
I
never
like to paint.
You've never thought of doing. Can you do a big thing like that?
I
On a
have
wall?
done a mural years ago. The Scottish Rite Society. I had painted a big picture of, I think it was Melrose Abbey Church, and they used it on their float for parades. So I did paint that. I don't know how great it was because I was still in like high school, but
And somebody out there is just like me, going, "Okay, what church is that? Because what is that?"
I'm not sure. It's a church that anyway. But I painted it. They gave me a picture of it, and
Yeah.
I painted it. But that's been years and years ago. But I do love to paint. Now I can paint pictures on canvases, but I can't paint a wall.
Like a
So,
regular paint job.
like a regular, just paint the wall and keep it off the trim. Don't ask me to do that.
just
Yeah.
not in your forte.
No, it's not.
There's, I guess, because we've all had to paint something in our home before, but really and truly, the worst has got to be the ceiling, because you've got to look up, and you're going to get it all in your face. And I feel for those guys that do that every day.
I know. It is hard work. I mean, really, it is. Now, I'm not saying I won't paint. I will paint, but you ain't going to like it when I get done. And also, we had that old camper that we had bought that time. It wasn't old. I mean, it was older, but it wasn't
was
in bad
old. I
shape.
saw
But
it.
we redone it, you know.
Yeah, y'all stripped it.
We did. We totally redone the inside, and I was helping paint. I thought I was doing this great job. Well, paint, as it dries, gets darker. So I thought I did a great job until it dried, and then
So
I
all
had
the
it
spots you
all
missed.
over the ceiling. I thought, good gracious. I mean, yeah.
It's like,
Don't ask me to do that.
Angie's good with freehanding. I'm not. I have to use tape. When it gets to a tight corner and it's not supposed to touch something else,
Yeah.
I got to use tape. That's the only way I know to do it.
That's probably the best thing to do.
But those steady-handed
me too.
people, and there are people that can take a paintbrush and
Oh, I know. They're great at it.
not me. No sirree. And I wouldn't want to be an eye surgeon either, would I, Dr. Mason?
That's right. So if you fuss about having to hire a painter, you get what you pay for. So.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And then some people, the spray thing sounds good until you get the overspray on everything in your house.
Right.
Deborah Seipel says she's painting her kitchen just right now.
Okay.
Good luck with that. Send us pictures. I want to know how you done.
I did paint the china cabinet that I found, and it did turn out good.
Did you
I
get
got
it
a
at the
picture
dump,
of
or
it.
where'd you find it?
No, I found it at
Come on now.
I found it in Hickory at the Hickory Picking place. I did. It was good.
I thought she'd done been to the dump, take something off, come home with something.
No, I found it there. We stopped one day. It was crazy. We stopped one day, and we had like 15 minutes before they closed, I think. I said, I just want to look for a second, and I found it. But anyway, it turned out good.
Well, I'm glad that worked out for you. I had an uncle that used to say they'd go to the dump sometimes, forget to take their own garbage.
Really?
That's what he told me. As we begin, what is today? Thursday. Can you believe that? We're really at the end of May. Tuesday is it. Then we'll roll into June, which will be the official roll-off into hurricane season. There is talk. There's nothing 100% that something could start brewing out there, maybe late next week. We'll watch it. It's nothing confirmed, but all eyes are upon that.
Yeah. I hope not for July. That's when we're supposed to go to the beach. That's what I told Kurt. I was like, you watch now.
And something will happen.
hadn't been to the beach in years, and I want to go. And
Plan something, something always goes by. Everybody knows how that works out.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for joining us. We're going to talk about some national headlines next. Hang around. We might talk about something that you're interested in. We certainly hope so. Stay close.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install, or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. Fresh blueberries, $3.39 for a pint. Fresh strawberries, $3.39. An 8-pound bag of Idaho potatoes, $3.99. Fresh leg quarters, a 10-pound bag, $6.99. Twin pack Boston butts, $1.79 a pound. A1 steak sauce, 10-ounce bottle, $3.89. And family pack select T-bone steaks, $7.99 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Every day, Jackson drivers go to work, run errands, maybe enjoy an evening out. Most of the time, they return home safely. Unfortunately, that's not always the case.
If you or a loved one has been in a serious car accident, call attorney Richard Schwartz and Associates.
We'll come to you, work to get you the right medical care, and fight to get you every dollar you deserve. One call, that's all.
Call attorney Richard Schwartz and Associates today.
We say good morning to Melanie McBriar Stahl, watching us from Webster City, Iowa. I don't think I've ever been there before, but salute to y'all.
yes, good morning to everybody. Sarah Martin, she's watching this morning. Denise Burnside, Ralph Fortenberry, good morning to you. And Deborah Seipel, she was painting her kitchen a while ago, but good morning.
Yeah.
JT Rigdon and James Pugh, good morning, everybody.
Yeah, we've got a lot of Making Mississippi people watching. Now, as we begin this, as we've always said, a politician never lets a tragedy go unused. They use it to their advantage. I don't know if you saw this yesterday, where Beto breaks into the press conference that the governor of Texas was having. A very solemn moment that should not, in my opinion, been interrupted, but he did.
Is that where the mayor kind of went off on him and told him to get out of there? Yeah.
He was escorted out by the police, and he should have been.
Yeah, no place and time for any of that politics.
It just shows where America has gone on their thought process of the Will Smith thing.
Even the president, it's like he couldn't wait to get on there and talk about gun control. I mean, it's evil people who kill people.
Now, I think we all agree something has got to be done with our schools. We cannot have people doing this, whether it's more money with security there. And then the next thing that I keep hearing nationwide of people in different parts of the country is maybe it's time that I just don't want my child there, and it's time for homeschooling because, number one, a lot of education is teaching them things that I don't want them to anymore, and security. But one police officer cannot handle a school that has 80 doors to it.
Well, they say that there should be one entrance in, one entrance out that is actually, accessible to somebody from the outside, I guess. And, I know even at our elementary school up here, there's one entrance that I know of. I think the rest of the doors are probably locked. But some schools you have to show an ID to get in, and have to be buzzed in and stuff like that. I think that would be a better option than everybody just going to homeschool. Now, is there anything wrong with homeschooling? Absolutely not. But not everybody is able to homeschool their children.
No, they're not. And then some children work a lot better being around others, where some children, they're loners and it's just no big deal.
Right. And homeschooling groups, people who do homeschool, there are groups that they get with and they go on field trips and they do things. But
there's a lot of people that go, I'm going to take care of this. And I even had somebody call me yesterday and say, look, my community, we're going to get it to where we get 10 kids together and we're going to start homeschooling our own groups and groups of 10.
Yeah.
And that way they still have camaraderie with other kids.
I think, though, in a way, that's just kind of like, it's like giving the people the ammunition to keep doing what they're doing, in a way. If you just go away from the problem and don't deal with it, I don't know. I don't think that's completely like the answer. I think it's great if that's what you want to do. And
well, I don't have the answer. I truly don't.
No. I don't think anybody right now has the answer. But I think
is there people with mental problems that don't need guns? I think there absolutely is. That's a big issue. There are people that don't need them. How we go about making that legitimate, that's got to be well thought out.
Well, I know that there is a lot of talk, too, this morning on the news about the shooter who had a troubled life and a troubled family and stuff like that. And
that's no excuse.
And I know, well, there's a lot of us who had troubled lives and troubled families. I mean, I came from a broken home. I mean, my parents divorced when I was 8. That didn't mean that I, just quit living life. There are people, though, that are abused and stuff like that. I still don't think that's an excuse. I think there's a good bit of support out there for people who have had things happen.
Issues.
Is what I'm saying.
The headline I saw said, gunman was poor, picked on, drove him to do this. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that grew up poor and they didn't turn out to do things like this.
Right.
And you may have touched on it yesterday, this video game that teaches people that there's no repercussions maybe for what they do.
I think there's just a total, in the last, I don't know how many years, there's been a total breakdown of let's pull God out of the whole scenario. Let's pull it out of the schools. Let's pull it out of here. And then there's a lot of children who maybe they don't have anybody in the home. And let's touch on the gang thing. If they don't have any kind of a role model or anything, maybe that they might feel like that's their only option is to go and join a group of somebody who might welcome them in. It might not be the greatest people that's welcoming you in, but
Christy Skipper says, do we know why he did this? No, we really and truly do not. From what the timeline, and I pull this up now. Originally, I thought the grandma was in the truck. That is not the case. He shot his grandmother. I think she's still clinging to life. He then steals a truck and wrecks it. I got this from Daily Mail, and I thought I would show the timeline of the picture that they put up of this. And this is number one. He shoots his grandmother. He steals the truck and wrecks it. He drops a backpack that had a bunch of ammo in it, so he could have done more damage had he not dropped that. The cop confronts him. He kills 19 kids and 2 teachers. And then the agent that showed up that took him out, I did not know this, that it was 90 minutes before that border agent got there and took care of the problem. The local police apparently didn't move in quickly, and the parents were contemplating on going in themselves. And then that border agent comes in and handles the situation. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I didn't know what the timeline is. I definitely didn't know it was 90 minutes, but I don't know. I know that there is a lot of people who have had broken homes, and I think, that, if you see somebody that you think might be depressed or suffering from any kind of mental illness or something, try to get that person, if you possibly can, a little bit of help. If you can't help them, maybe somebody else can. I don't know what the situation was here, but I think education is a big part too, like to push education, people to get involved more with the schools and get involved with trying to get children, back in school if they're not in school. I know we have a lot of kids roaming the streets. I see it every day.
He was graduated, wasn't he?
I don't know about that.
That's my understanding.
He was 18, I think.
Now, I know he took a part-time job and he saved up $4,000 to purchase guns. Debbie Moles asked, she had heard he didn't have a driver's license. Don't you have to have one to purchase a firearm? No, you have to have a ID, a photo ID. You don't have to necessarily have a driver's license, and that would be the way around that.
But don't they do a background check?
Right, yes, they do. And, of course, at 18 years old, he's done nothing wrong. Some states you have to wait till you're 21 before you can purchase a long gun. I think there's 6 states that you don't. Texas is one of those.
I did think this in my mind, though. Like, look at how many people are, reprimanded by social media sites for saying certain words and certain this and certain that. Why was that not a big red flag when he went on a social media site and said, he made 3 posts. One was, he was going to kill his grandmother.
And then he sent a girl a text and said, I'm doing this today.
Yeah. And then I'm going to kill my grandmother. I killed my grandmother. I shot my grandmother. And then I'm going to the elementary school. I mean, why was that not flagged? And if it was, how long did that take?
Yeah, I agree with that. Social
some
media
of us can
needs
say
to
one
be,
little word and you're in
Yeah.
Facebook jail or in whatever jail,
That needs to be watched a lot. I agree with you
Right,
100% on that.
Yeah.
And that is usually because people like that are looking for the fame.
Yeah.
And they want everybody to leave a mark with their name. Somebody said he was a dropout.
Okay.
So there's a lot to be determined on this. And now here's the other side of that. If you go, well, anybody that's 18 doesn't need to purchase one of those. Well, wait a minute. Let's back up on that. If you're 18 and they ship you off to go get shot at in another country, you ought to be able to buy a gun at home also.
Yeah.
That's just being fair on that. If you're old enough to serve in the military, I'm not a drinker, but if you can go serve our country and fight and you wanted to buy a beverage, I think you should have that right. There's so much to consider on these things. I couldn't be a lawmaker because I'd be cut and dry on my thoughts and wouldn't agree with nobody else.
Well, and the thing is, too, like we have said time and again, look, years ago, I mean, people had guns in their back window.
That's right.
And I heard somebody talking this morning, there was a preacher this morning that was on the TV, and he was saying that we have a heart problem in our country. We have a lot of hate going on in our country. I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Lots of hate being bred into our children, and lots of hate being bred into just society in general, that we should hate each other because of the color of our skin, or we should hate each other because of the way we believe, or whatever. And it's just a lot of hate out there. And so from a top level, there is hate being bred into our people.
Vicky said that Fox News is reporting that he was not going to graduate, and that's why he was mad and went on he snapped. Huh, I didn't know that.
But it was one classroom that he entered, and that's where all of the killing happened.
Fourth grade class.
Yeah, and in that one classroom. And I know there was a lot of questions as to why did he choose that classroom. I don't know if there was a reason behind that, or if it was just randomly that he went in and that was the first one. I don't know. I just know that these families they're mourning the loss of their children, and I can't even imagine what they're going through. And to bring politics into it, it's just
Now, he
awful.
said something, and I don't have the quote in front of me. One of the children that were there said that he made a remark before he shot one of the other children. I forget what it was. I have to look it up. Denise made a good point there, to where if you see something like that on Facebook of somebody saying they're going to do something, report it immediately. Maybe they'll catch it. Or, even if you don't report it to Facebook, call a law enforcement agency in your neighborhood and go, hey, Billy.
Right.
Where's Ward? Send him out here. This is what I just saw.
Yeah. And there was another school system, I think, in another town in Texas that has now gone to virtual learning because of this for a while, or I don't know how long. I know it's the end of the school year, but some places go year round. I don't know. But because I think there was a call in that there was a threat of a possible somebody was going to do something, so they went virtual.
Now, Christy Skipper made a good point here. She said, my father was a Meridian police officer. I grew up around guns. Daddy had a .44 Magnum on the dresser. We were poor, and I never thought of shooting someone. So that theory, this is people that make up excuses for people that don't accept responsibility for what they do. And maybe that's a better way to put it.
But I think, like I said a while ago, when you do breed this kind of hate and division into our society, it's constantly being put out there, and for people even in a top administration like in Washington to be promoting division.
Yeah, we don't need that.
We don't need that. Like somebody we were talking one day, I think, about how Biden said that he was gonna, and it's in the news too, you can hear it. He said he was gonna unite the country.
He did. When he went in, he said he was...
That was one of his tactics to get people to vote for him. He was going to unite the country. He has done nothing but help divide. He and the vice president.
And the media.
The media
has we're all Americans. It doesn't matter what color of skin you have, what church you go to.
Right.
We're reunited on the fact that we're Americans. And we have always in the past stood together no matter what happened to pull through. And we hope and pray our country is going to come back together in some way.
That's right. But until we bring God back into it, number one, respect for other people and love of our country, until those things are brought back into the whole picture, I don't believe that it's going to heal. I mean, it's going to have to.
True. And if you've got a comment, we'd love to hear from you. You can inbox us or put it here while we're live so we can see that. I'll also see as we go to Pennsylvania, this is going to get heated. Less than 1,000 votes. I think it's 916 votes separates Dr. Oz away from David McCormick. And they have said now, yes, we're going back and do a recount. Will Dr. Oz hang on to that and walk away with the Pennsylvania? Of course, he is backed by Trump, and McCormick is not. Trump has lost about 2 that he supported. The guy that was in the wheelchair didn't make it, but you have to also look at, and you don't blame anybody for that. There was some stuff come out that was passed that you could not explain. I just don't, when I hear it.
The younger guy that he supported, I
didn't like that. And then he was also against the governor, the Republican governor of Georgia, because, of course, he was against Trump, so that became an enemy.
Right.
He held his seat. He was unable to seat him. Georgia's a little different nowadays. It's not what it used to be.
And when it comes time to vote, don't just vote what everybody's talking about to vote for. You do your research and you look into what they have voted on in the past, how they have promoted themselves in the past, what they're for, what they stand for.
I mean, I looked Josh Todd up in his high school annual to make sure he done the right thing in high school.
That's right, because the media, people are going to turn things around at times. They're going to say things that aren't true. And to me, facts.
Perfect example of this, of America jumping off the cliff, so to speak. Johnny Depp. Have y'all watched any of this?
I just see snippets when I'm walking through the room. If it's on, I can't sit there. And
this woman has issues, and she told so many fibs, even about his ex-girlfriend that he used to beat her, and she gets on the stand in 2 minutes and goes, nope, dated him 3 years, he never laid a hand on me.
A lot of men use this phrase, that woman's got snakes in her head.
Yes, I agree with that.
I've heard a lot of men say that. So, I'm just saying, but
that Me Too movement probably, and we will never know how many people were really innocent that got destroyed just because they took it for face value and no one investigated. America has never done that before. If you accuse someone of something, you've got to prove it. And the media was right on this, of convicting people of things they did not do. All over the board. And Johnny Depp was one of them. I mean, now we no longer will have Captain Jack Sparrow because of her.
And I'm all for somebody receiving punishment if they actually did something wrong. I mean, I'm for it, but to just take somebody's word for something and not really.
Well, our friend Bill, who got out on a technicality, I don't think Americans agree with that. And he did get out on a technicality. Kind of goes back to Country Boy Cancer. Yeah, you're right. There was a couple of bills there.
Was there a president or was it an actor? I don't know.
Listen, I was talking about Cosby, but we also see that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I read, this just makes you scratch your head. I read an article where Bill Clinton was talking about the polls in America, where almost every poll shows that Joe's in the 20s on approvalship. Gas is $4 and $5 a gallon. American is tired of it. He goes, that's not really true. People really do support him. He's the greatest president we've ever had. Don't believe the polls.
I'm
like, what are you on, Bill?
I know. Yeah.
When you have to decide you buying gas to go to work or pay your electric bill, we got a problem. And it doesn't matter how you vote, that is the fact.
That's right. And, he's the one that's running the country, supposedly. Even if somebody behind the scenes is actually running, he's the one that they have out in front.
Scott asked, have we been watching The Equalizer? I have not. I think that's the spinoff of what Denzel Washington was in, the movie, and they made a TV show out of it, I think, but I have not watched it. Is it good? I'll ask that. I haven't seen that.
Somebody said, how do you think we can, Cindy said, how do you think that we can stop people not associated with the school from walking into the school? Well, I know that, like we said earlier, a lot of schools have gone to locking the door, and they have a buzzer where they can buzz you in, and a lot of times you have to show your ID before you can be entered into the school.
Well, you're supposed to, in Lauderdale County, I think you have to go to the office first, but there are ways to jump a fence, go in and go around that, and find an open door somewhere.
Yeah.
But you're right, something needs to be where it goes to one central location, everybody that enters. And I even had somebody tell me this yesterday. They go, look, let's back off an hour here and there. If it takes an hour for everybody to get in that school, check them.
Yeah.
Every bag. If it takes 1 hour for the kids to get before they get to class, so be it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Check every book bag that walks through that door through a scanner everywhere.
And some people might say, well, how safe is that? What if the school caught on fire? I think it's you can't get in.
You could get out.
But you could get out,
Right. More cameras in the halls to monitor that to make sure that someone else isn't letting them in.
Right.
Could that happen? Yeah, I could see that also. A few thoughts there. And if you've got a comment, we'd love to hear from you on that also. All important things as America faces new challenges that, well, we've just never seen these things this bad before.
And a lot of people will get aggravated if they do go to stuff like that because it's like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. And I know, I understand your aggravation. Right, I understand it. Or like if they just can't. I know I got kind of aggravated one time when I couldn't walk my child's book bag to his classroom to give it to him. He had left, or his lunchbox or something. But,
actually, it was Kurt at work and they wouldn't let her in.
No, but that's your initial reaction. But when you really think about it, it's a small price to pay for their safety.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And speaking of small prices and people that work behind the scenes for you, it is Snowden and Company. They're located here in Meridian. If you're looking for a home or selling yours, talk to them first. 453-3937 is the number to call as they go above and beyond to make sure you get what you want. Some folks there that bought a house, sold a house. If you're looking for your dream home, or maybe, well, you got a whole new dream, a different one now, they offer that as well. From Bailey, Mississippi, the ranch-style house with 100 acres of land. DeKalb, where you can be on the square. Maybe you need to be out by Northeast High School, walk to school. Skippity-doo-dah. Go across. Dalewood, you want to fish? Maybe that's your thing. You like skiing? Yeah. They've got homes there also that they can show you. As you see there, the county's listed from Kemper, Newton, Neshoba, Clark, all the way over to Jackson. They'll do that in those areas there. Maybe Enterprise is where you need to be. They got them there as well. As we look here at Lake Ross Collins, a home that's just newly listed there also. You can find homes in Linmore Estates. That's going to be out in Marion. They're everywhere. Find folks that's bought homes there and they're happy. See her. She'll help you out there. That's Amanda. Look for her face and along with these other folks here. 453-3937. That's the number to call. They'll help you out and get you going with anything that you're looking for. Drop in and visit with them today.
As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South, 601-693-4054.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. Thursday morning, again, all of this little rain that we've got outside is going to end. Now, Alabama on the other side, east of us, is going to have a chance of some severe weather today. So it's moving away from Mississippi and drifting sort of like that.
Goodness.
Just so you'll know. What are you thinking over there? You look like you had a thought there you were trying to say.
No, I'm just thinking my daughter's down at the beach. So
having a good time, and you are.
Well, I just hope the weather doesn't get bad down there. Think
She's
about the kids when they're away.
She's singing a Jimmy Buffett song called "Come Monday."
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or Margaritaville.
Yesterday I talked to her and I was like, "How's the weather there?" And she goes, "It's been sunny all day." I'm like, "Well, nice. It's nasty here."
All right, let's take a step back in time and look at a few things that happened on this date and jog your memory. Jog. That's always been a peculiar word in that way. 1907, this old guy was born, and I was upset as we let America rip away an airport that was named after him. I think it was senseless. This guy stood for American justice, and he told it what it was. He said, life is hard. If you're stupid, well, it's harder on you. It was one of his great statements. Who am I talking about? John Wayne, the Duke, was born on this date back in 1907.
Yeah.
He was plain, simple, and put it forward the way it was. He didn't beat around the bush. And all because of an interview that he done years ago, they stripped away his statue and renamed the airport in California after him.
Because he said, "Don't be stupid."
No, it was a different issue there.
I was thinking.
That was just great advice.
Yeah, it's like
Life
you
is
break the
hard.
law. You know, don't make excuses. Just don't do stupid things.
That was John Wayne's point on it. Who remembers getting up early on a Saturday morning and watching the Lone Ranger, Hi Ho Silver? Well, today is Tonto's birthday. The guy that played it anyway, Jay Silverhills was his name, and he was born on this day back in 1912. That was a good show.
It was.
Until they'd done the remake of that, and then we found out that the Lone Ranger was against guns, and he was the Lone Ranger. How they try to write things into new scripts and change the way you think.
Didn't you say that, like with the Yellowstone, that or the 1880? Is it 1882 that other show, or 1880?
It's 80 something.
Yeah, that Tim McGraw's against guns.
Yeah, Tim is not one of those
For guns?
Yeah, he's on the other side of the fence. Most of the time, Tim stays quiet on his political views. Every now and then he says something.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Hometown hero that we mentioned a moment ago that's getting his face painted on a building passed away on this date. It was 1933 that Jimmy Rogers would pass away and forever be in the pages of history as the father of country music, the yodeler. People spent money they didn't have to have his product, made him a rich man. It did. I had to say one of my heroes, I was mowing grass making $7 a yard with my push mower, and I had to have this. I went and bought a new album each week. I got them all. Slowly but surely I got it. It was Hank Williams Jr. He celebrates a birthday today, Bo Cephas.
You still got those albums?
Oh, yeah, I got them still at my mom's house up there in the closet. Don't know what to do with them, but I got them.
Keep them. I would keep them.
I'm telling you, mowing grass, that was tough. That was my whole week's pay there to get that album.
You have a record player now to play them on?
No, I don't.
Well, you know they are making them again. Like they are.
No, I didn't. I really didn't.
Get
I
you
know
a
that
brand new
people
one.
collect them, but no, I didn't.
Yeah.
1970, she was the hottest thing, and I'm going to use the word hottest because she was. She was it on TV back then. Who am I talking? Oh, Barbara Eden. Y'all remember her? It was the last episode of I Dream of Jeannie that aired on this date in 70. That would put it 52 years ago. And she's still attractive
She is.
after all this time.
She is. She's still a really pretty lady.
Oh, boy. Let's see here. 1964, this guy is big in his genre of music. He's good at what he does. Lenny Kravitz is celebrating a birthday today, born back in 64. And if you were to put a spotlight on me, no, I could not answer. Oh, wait a minute. I can. American Woman. That's all I know. Stay away from me.
I think I had a CD of his one time.
America woke up in 1994 and scratched their heads, and they would scratch their heads for the next 3 years and go, what was that about? I don't get it. We would later learn that the marriage was never really made or put together. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Well, wasn't was there some talk of he wanted the rights to Elvis's music?
He was trying to
and
buy
stuff
them, I
like that?
think. And the two forming it, that was odd. We're going to leave it at that. And yeah.
Is that rain I hear?
That's rain.
Lots of rain.
Coming on
right
down. This is one of you watched him on Switch. You've watched him on all types of shows. He was
Green
funny.
Acres.
Green Acres, yeah. Eddie Albert passed away on this date back in 2005, believe it or not.
He reminds me of my grandfather.
The pitchfork or which part?
No, his
He
look? looks a lot like my grandfather, yeah.
And then one of the greatest that ever went to the Western screen that I looked up to was my hero, as I've told you many times, would pass away on this date. And it's been, 11 years? Is that right? Yeah, 11 years today. James Arnaz would pass away on this date. And who hasn't seen the backside of Matt Dillon over and over and over again as he stood in the street for justice and didn't take it? He always took down the bad guy and made sure that the right thing was done. That's a stroll down memory lane this morning. Maybe you remember a few of those things that happened on this date. The next thing that is in the headlines today, the Duger. Am I pronouncing his last name? Josh Duger. He's headed off for some jail time now. They passed sentence yesterday. Have you read this?
I have not read it.
12 and a half years he will spend behind bars for downloading pornography. And what I'm told, and I probably don't want to know what he had. They say it was the worst of the worst that you could have at his car lot. He'll spend time in jail, and is that enough? I don't know. He seems to be a monster.
Yeah. No, that's horrible.
he's banned from using the internet and will have to have supervised. If his kids come to visit him, he cannot be alone with them.
You know, from what I understand, I think his wife stood by him
She
through
did.
the whole thing. I would be really, really concerned about my children.
His cousins, not so much. They've spoken out and said, whew, glad he's in there. The cousins are not sticking up for him.
Yeah. That's one of those things you just wonder throughout those years, you know.
Well, I mean, he attacked his sisters on top of it. That
yeah,
just, whoa.
that's just the thing. I feel no mercy for anybody like that.
That's the word. I was trying to say remorse is what was going through my head.
No
as you said
mercy.
that. None whatsoever. He gets what he deserves on that.
Yeah.
I don't like anybody that picks on our children in any shape, form, or way.
Right.
Denise says he should have gotten 50 years instead of 12.
It probably will not be a pleasant time for him either.
And that's what the cousin said. He's going to meet some new friends in jail.
Yep.
We'll leave it at that, and you fill in the blanks however you want to do that.
From what I've always understood, anybody that harms children or elderly people don't fare well in prison. But
Probably not. I wouldn't fare well with a misdemeanor in there. I don't plan on going. Let's hope I never do.
right.
Yeah, I don't want to spend no time there. No Rambo scenes where they're trying to give you a shower either. Whew. Let's take a minute to talk about our friends over at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. They've been there since 32. That's coming up on, they're what, 90 years now?
A long time.
That is. Well, they're going to change the calendar one day. They're working on that. They've got so much to offer you there. Well, they do what? They do what you do. They offer you things that you need. Fishing supplies and lures. You even got a rod and reel. If yours is broken, you need an extra one there to take the grandkids fishing. Pine straw. Boys, we work in the yard. We've got that. And look at this new load of sod that just arrived. They can fix you up and you can have your yard looking better. And if you put it in the ground before now, the rain was perfect to give it a little extra oomph. As we come across, of course, we've got all the gardening and flower shops there and beautiful flowers as we turn to the T-shirts. And, of course, if you need lawn furniture, if you need something for the back porch, they've got that also. Visit with them. Walk around. See what all they have to offer you, from shoes to boots and a whole lot more. Pet supplies, even some diet dog food. You'll find that there. They got a great special going on that right now toward the end of the month. Corn, seed, for your horses and cattle, guns and ammo. It's all at the Lauderdale County Farm Supply. Again, we say exit 151.
Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers, because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
I've worked hard all my life, but I found out the hard way insurance companies can abandon their customers when they need them the most. So I called Richard Schwartz. I'm forever grateful I made that call.
I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. It is Thursday morning with light rain falling throughout the area. As I glance over at radar, we've got plenty of this going on in Lauderdale County right now. The western side of the county getting the most of what we've got now. And this stretches back over toward Chunky, and we'll pull up reading Honda radar there for you to see there, around Enterprise and up through the West Lauderdale area and a little bit into Kemper County. So you could be getting wet where you are this morning. Keep that in mind. Well, I don't want to shock anybody or scare anybody, but this is no shock to me, but I'm sure there's some Americans that go, say it ain't so. What's that TV show?
Chrisley Knows best.
Yep, he's in trouble. He's in court right now. And the headline reads this morning, reality star Todd Chrisley has had a gay affair with his business partner who helped him commit fraud. The trial hears, that's what was said yesterday. His scorned lover tipped off the federal agencies to Chrisley's crimes after their fling ended. Now, that did not shock me whatsoever. He's married, got 5 kids. We've heard nothing from his wife on this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking she might have known all along. Thinking out loud.
You kind of wonder.
Yeah. Again, it was no shock to me at all.
It kind of probably wouldn't be a shock to some people. I don't know.
So, but that's going on in the news today. I thought you might want to know that.
But this is like, if I'm not mistaken, his second fraudulent scenario. I'm going to put it like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it there. So,
anyway.
Chrisley didn't know everything.
But he's a funny guy. Yeah, he is funny. But anyway.
Now, if you brought this up yesterday about the skating park and about what money's being put into the Meridian area.
Yeah.
They've got a meeting on June the 8th. Let me go here to Sam Media and pull this up for you here. You can read this story. We've got it posted on our Facebook page. This is going to be on June the 8th, beginning at 6 at the train station. It'll last till 7:30, and they're wanting folks to come out and listen to what they've got to say. They even offer right here, if you'll go here and click this link, you can go and fill out a survey about all of this. Do you feel it's the right thing for Meridian? What they're wanting is help designing this and your thoughts. But however you feel and you want to be a part of that, be there and show up for that. Down at Union Station on June the 8th. Maybe you can add a little bit of something to it. I have no idea where they're wanting to put it. I really don't.
I don't know either. I don't know. I think when we're talking about bringing money in our town and stuff that could help in other areas, money being brought in, I think it would be great to have also.
What you bring in town?
We've gone to these big ball complexes where there's baseball and sometimes they use areas for soccer and different things. Somebody was talking the other day at one of the tournaments, and they were talking about how there's hundreds of thousands of dollars every time they have a tournament brought into these places, these cities. I think it would be a great moneymaker. I think with state games a lot of times being hosted, it'd be very nice to have a very nice facility to have something like that at. Also, when we talk about giving children something to do instead of being here and there and playing ball or doing things like that, I think it would be a great thing for these kids. So that might be a thought.
Oh, and parents.
And it would bring a lot of money into the area.
Parents
it really
spend the
would.
night. They spend money in your town where you are. They buy cold drinks.
Every time we go to these tournaments, parents are spending time in the hotels. They're spending money in the restaurants.
And we truly do have a lot to do downtown now. They've revamped it. It's beautiful. This would be a great addition. I agree with you on
along
that.
with the skate park. It would be great to have something like that. I think it would be great. Bring a lot of money in. So.
Well, you put
Maybe
it right over there where
the
drive-in used to be. There's a lot of land there. You could do it right there.
Yeah. It is.
I'll let you go negotiate the land price buying on that.
Look, I'd be willing to help in any kind of area if they could do something like that. So.
This also on a local level, before I get back to some headlines here, they're going to have a special meeting coming up. It's called for the Board of Trustees of the Meridian Public School District. What are they doing? There's a lot of things they'll vote on, but as you get into the agenda, here's something you should be aware of. As they get into this recommendation by the board to approve the consolidation of Carver Middle School. That means they're going to be shutting it down if approved. Look for that, but that's going on there. Okay. Let's see other things that are happening here. Let's glance around here. He's going to playoffs. Down here we go. I got some more stories here. Give me just a second. There's a lot of stories about everything about the police not being prepared for that went on. There's Beto. And Scott, the Senator Scott, is jumping on Biden. He proposed a law back in 2020 about reconstructing things for police and databases. And, as we heard yesterday, Biden is calling for a nationwide database of cops with bad records and stricter standards for police. That part is good. I think there are bad apples that if a department fires somebody for something that they shouldn't have, that should follow them to the next job to where that police department doesn't get a surprise later.
Right.
That is good. But Biden didn't come up with that on his own. That was part of it. But he's got some other key elements in there that some were saying they don't agree with. But that was a big thing there. Do you see where this author was arrested? She wrote a book. And she's arrested by her own headline, really. She wrote a book titled How to Murder Your Husband. Y'all want to know what she done?
Did she murder her husband?
She murdered her husband. She wrote it by firsthand. She's been arrested there. She's a romance novelist. Nancy Crampton, do you pronounce this? Brophy? B-R-O-P-H-Y?
I think so, yeah.
She's 71.
So is she in jail?
She is now.
Yeah, was she ever in jail?
Convicted of second-degree murder for the shooting of her husband. His name was Daniel. He was 63, a lot younger.
Oh, my goodness.
Shouldn't have married him, an older woman. She was testy. We don't know what he did to tick her off to where she wanted to take him out, but she did. Then she wrote a book about it. and I think you could almost follow page by page of what to do there.
Goodness.
One of the people at Facebook that is on the board that is a conservative has resigned. He's leaving Facebook, and what is he going to do? He's going to help with the Trump agenda. He's going to go out and he's going to help some Republicans running for office to spearhead their campaigns. Oh. So that makes your mind go, okay, does that mean we're going to have less of a voice on the board? I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if he'll be replaced by someone else or not, but that's in the news there.
You might need to click over to the radar. It's like wind really bad right now.
We got a lot of rain coming down.
It is a lot.
It's in the West Lauderdale area, in the western side of Lauderdale County. If you're getting wet now, I-20 coming into Meridian, extremely wet. All out by the high school, you're going to get wet.
Yeah. Goodness. Some wind out there too.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to start at Walmart on 19 and go all the way up to where you turn to go to 494 there. All across the reservoir over to Northeast Complex. Those areas getting the most of the rain, and quickly coming up on Lost Gap. If you're sitting at Lost Gap this morning, you're fixing to get wet. Don't y'all love the way I just say fixing?
Goodness. Yeah,
you can't get that everywhere.
We're fixing to do this and that. It's a big Southern phrase.
Yeah, absolutely. Other words and other things that are going on this morning here. Brazil, I don't know if you saw this story yesterday of a guy's dream. My dreams are a lot different than his, apparently, but he wanted to do this. He wanted to travel from Brazil to Alaska in his 78 VW, accompanied by his dog. Make that his lifelong thing. Within 2 days of reaching that, he was killed in a head-on wreck.
Oh, my goodness.
Awful. Didn't work out for him. That's national news this morning. He had almost made it there. So what's on your bucket list have you got to do before you go?
Before I go?
Yeah, as it happens to you. One day you're not going to be here.
Oh,
what's your bucket list?
As in today.
No.
I don't know. I don't really have a bucket list. I've always said I wanted to go to Alaska on an Alaskan cruise. That's one of my main things. I've always heard it's pretty and
it is.
It's nice. But I just want to be able to grow old and see my kids grow up, and
we know you got the growing old part. We
That's
don't know
my
about
main.
the rest.
That's my main goal. I want to be able to grow old and see my grandbabies grow up.
Words of advice from Candace this morning.
Yeah.
I'm working on mine. I hadn't come up with it. They're saying that Trump's wall does help. I've heard about 4 or 5 of these. This week alone, 3 people have had to be rescued from the wall that was trying to slither over the top. They got hung, their clothes was there, and they couldn't go any further.
Oh, goodness. That would be bad.
No word yet that if it was Collinsville Volunteer Fire Department that went and got them down or not. But they did have to be rescued.
They'd be there.
Trump goes on to say he ain't concerned about Mike Pence running for president. Go ahead if you want to. I brought that up the other day, but Trump has revisited and said, bring it on. He's yet to say if he's going to do it. And a lot of people are trying to push the agenda to get Ron DeSantis to run before that. Yeah. It's already planned out what's going to happen. We just don't happen to know yet.
Right. I think it's a lot of behind-the-scenes things going on.
Right.
I wish Trump would just go ahead and state if he's going to run or not. I mean, I think he probably is.
It will be the day after the midterm elections. They say they don't want him to cloud the headlines that would keep somebody from getting elected. Because the media will focus on.
It'll be all about that, yeah.
Trump. You've been to a rodeo lately?
Not in a little while.
Well, they did it out in California. It's fun. Right up until the bull busts the fence and he comes up in the crowd.
Oh,
and that happened in California. And so a whole bunch of them had to go to the hospital because he ran over them. Never mess with a bull.
That's scary, too, because a lot of kids are climbing on the fence at the rodeos I've been to. They're like climbing up there and just watching.
Yeah, he took down that one. Apparently, whoever put the fence together didn't do a real good job there. Monkeypox, as we learn more about this, California reporting they have a likely case of this.
Oh, goodness.
And they've already said that they have got vaccines for this. We hope this doesn't become something widespread.
Do you think this is not ironic? Because do you remember a while back when a truck wrecked and it was full of monkeys?
I remember
loud
that.
Monkeys.
Yeah.
Do you not think it's ironic now we have monkeypox?
I'm just shocked that you remember the monkey wreck.
I do remember the monkey wreck because I thought, how weird is that? Now we're going to see something come out, and now we have monkeypox. And if you've never pulled up a photo of that, it's nasty.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's bad.
Oh, it's whelps all over your body.
It's like swollen, like blisters.
Like you've been burned.
Filled with, It's like water blisters.
So we hope this really doesn't spread, but
Yeah.
each day I'm seeing more and more headlines about this. Y'all be prepared. Do I think other countries can want to put stuff like this on us? I do. I'm scared about it. We'll watch this closely.
Yeah.
We got more coming up with Scotty Ray and Candace as we start your Thursday for you. We sure are glad that you came by and spent a few moments with us. We've got more on the way.
Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike and Jake have years of experience of dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
These days, everyone calls me Grandpa, even my son. I couldn't imagine missing out on watching these kids grow up. It's the greatest joy in my life. It was a Saturday after my granddaughter's 4th birthday party when a semi-truck hit me. I had to survive. I promised the little girl I was going to read her a story the next time I saw her. My son called Richard Schwartz. He helped me every step of the way and got me the money we deserve.
Remember, I'm your Mississippi attorney, Richard Schwartz. I'm here for you. One call, that's all.
Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace. Do you remember yesterday morning where I mentioned the preacher felt that he should confess to his sins in front of the church? And he did. He admitted that he had an affair on his wife to the congregation. About that time, the young lady that 20 years ago, that he did this with, she stands up, she goes, "Hey, I was 16 at the time." It got real bad as this story. Now, again, we're all sinners. Everybody has something in their past that's not good. We also found out that the pastor's wife happened to be a stripper one time. She's come forth with that. Again, you can be forgiven for anything you do. I'm not poking fun at anything, but this story is very deep as we look at this across America. That was in Indiana. If you want to read more about that, that's out there. They were just before getting a divorce, and, well, maybe they've worked their issues out. We'll see about that. Yes. Top Gun. We got just a couple of minutes ago. They're getting ready for the release of this. Have you watched the trailer to it?
No, I haven't.
I saw it this morning and I didn't watch it. I meant to come back to it. Kelly McGillis, who was his love interest, who was the hot thing in the movie. Good way to word it. She says that she understands where everybody else is kind of upset they were not invited back. She goes, "Look, I understand why they didn't invite me back." She goes, "I'm in my 60s and I'm happy because I'm fat and I'm old and I'm happy." And she goes, they're not going to invite me back. I get it.
Yeah. And then Meg Ryan, why didn't they invite her back? I wonder. Just
don't know that.
Maybe I don't know. But I did hear that Tom Cruise is insisting that Val Kilmer be put in it, and they're going to use
cameo. It's that much of a, but he did get in it.
Well, they are using technology to take his voice from the other movies that he's been in and recreate him to be able to have a voice in the new movie.
Well, that's good.
Because he doesn't have.
I did not know that.
He can't speak now because of I think it's throat cancer or some kind of cancer
really
that he has. Yeah. So Tom Cruise wants him in there, and he's pushing that he be put in there. Meg Ryan looks a lot different also because of I think maybe some plastic surgery or something.
Let's see here. Here's and this comes from Daily Mail. I'll show you a quick picture of Meg Ryan before and after. And let me show you
just age and other things.
This is Kelly McGillis, the difference in between then and now. Tom Cruise looks the same as he did back then.
Yeah. Some people have great genes and they can look just the same or something.
Oh, hush. You know it's all about great surgeons.
No, well, I mean, and others have great surgeons, but some people like to grow old gracefully, and that's
right. And that's what makes it. She said, I don't drink, I stay at home, and I'm a happy camper. Even Trevette, if you remember from Walker, Texas Ranger, he's out of it. He said, I'm teaching school now. He goes, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Huh.
They're probably enjoying the simpler life.
They are.
Rather than being in the spotlight.
Thank y'all for coming by. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Have a blessed day.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: